for the river that could fill my soul. Been walking to a city I cannot stop. Run it over. Give me love, give me joy, give me peace. Fill my cup, Lord. Run it over. I am your child in need. Lord, I need you. Fill my cup. Say with the water of the great unknown, 'cause I'm shaking from a well, from another place. Fill my cup, Lord, run it over. I am your child indeed, but I need you. Fill my plans up with purpose, fill my wounds up with healing. But I need you. Fill my cup, fill my days up with meaning, fill my future with vision, goodness, grace, and provision. Although that even this valley was a golden stream. Fill my cup, Lord. Give me love and joy to be. I am your child in need. But I need you. Fill my cup. Fill my house up with fill my house up with purpose. Fill my wounds up with healing. But I need you. Fill my cup. Fill my days up with meaning. Fill my future with vision. Goodness and provision. But I need you. Fill my cup. Good morning. Good morning. It is TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. And we do what? Okay, what are we? What are we? Fly girls. First love yourself, girl. It's Fly Girl Friday. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you guys this morning on this Fly Girl Friday? Yeah, see we had some music coming in this morning. We had Yeah. Good morning. How are you guys? You guys doing great this morning? I hope all is well.
He makes me hopscotch, double dutch, walk and chew bubble gum. How you?
Hey, you guys. It is Fly Girl Friday, and we came in right on time. We had a little oops there. We got a little stuck transitioning, but that's okay. That's okay. We doing better. We doing better. I wanted to where my cappuccino? Hold up. There we go. I had to warm it up. I had to warm it up this morning. Yeah. Good morning. I had to warm up my cappuccino this morning. Oh, it's hot. I can see the steam. I love it hot. I can't stand cold cappuccino. Faith can can move mountains, and sometimes you gotta climb. Good morning, TGIF Friday. We climbed all week. We did. Good morning. We climbed. Well, not really. No, I take that back. It was yesterday. Yesterday I was a little exhausted. Yesterday I had a lunch to go to, a dinner. I had a dinner to go to yesterday, and we had a travel partner dinner yesterday. I didn't make it. And we'll get to that. We'll get to that. I have gone to those dinners before. They are annually travel partner dinners and free eats, free foodies. But I wanted this. I wanted some cappuccino. I wanted some cappuccino instead. Yeah, I wanted some cappuccino instead. And I was thinking about all the desserts, imagining all the desserts. The last dinner I've gone to that had some good, delicious apple pie. They spoil me out here in these travel agent, yeah, meats. They spoil me. And that's probably why I have some. I give them some of the accountability for adding on some of this extra meat on me, weight on me. Yeah, I give them some of the accountability and I take the rest. How about that? No, I got to take all of it. Nobody can force me to do anything I don't want to do. Yeah, they can present it before me, they can present it to me, but nobody can force me to do anything I don't want to do. I do whatever I want to do for the most part. Well, gotta be careful with that because as you think you can do whatever you want to do, you're not free from consequences. How about that? I'm not free from the weight gain and all of the health consequences that comes along with all those good eats and eat to you. They feed you like buffet food. Seriously, the eats to be so good in this travel industry. Like they just feed you like there's no tomorrow. Yeah, I'm still looking through my phone this morning because I was prepared as I was going to be this morning. Not like the way that I wanted to. Someone told me that you lived a good life. I did. I lived a good life, and it's just not enough time in this life here. It's just not enough time to share. I did. I can anything good come out of Nazareth? Yes, me. Considering where I come from, I was somewhat raised in the projects. My grandmother had a family home, and then she took ill. She took ill. My grandmother took ill. My grandmother married, and my grandpas left. They were in the Air Force. My grandpa, one of my grandpas, was in the Air Force. Never met him. My mother's mother. He was in the Air Force, and haven't seen him again. Don't know what happened to my grandpa. So don't know if I get that military desire from my grandpa to be in any sort of special forces. Yeah, naturally. And so now I'm in the special forces in Christ. And that's what we're going to talk about this morning, from fame to faith. Yeah, from fame to faith. And how I landed here, what we ended off at from our previous cappuccino in chat. I fly girl cappuccino in chat. We did what last Saturday was Super Fly Girl, so today is TGIF. Together gathered in faith Friday. And so and it was all for my good. See my little cutie pie? That's my little cutie pie, my little man. This is where we left off. I didn't get an opportunity to share. I look at this photo and I look at, he was the only one that did that. He held my hand with my finger. Even when I was in the hospital and I gave birth to him, he grabbed my finger. He is as if he's holding my hand. He loved to hold my hand. I didn't finish the ending, but we have up until Mother's Day. But this is my little cutie pie. And I didn't quite finish the story, but I will finish with this. Because of his passing, his death, it puts somewhat of a fear in me. When we experience these tragedies and unforeseen circumstances, these tragedies can either do two things to you. It can put a God fear up in you and bring you closer to God. I put a angry anger in you that would cause you to move away from God. I'm glad that it put a God fear in me to bring me closer to God. I said, okay, God. And I wasn't specific all in my mind and in my wording, but I put down the Bill Clinton in hell from time to time. I stopped smoking weed. It put that type of fear in me to where I stopped smoking weed. And so it could be all for your good. And so he's in heaven. I know he's in heaven. And I've questioned God because he had no sins upon him. He didn't have time to commit any sins. And so I questioned. I asked my auntie. I asked, God, where is he now? He didn't live long enough to create any sins. He was innocent. He was pure. And I don't think I got the clarity that I would like. But for the most part, he's in heaven, whether his breath went back into God or he's just completely in heaven. And so I can't wait. I can't wait to see and to find out. So I'm very, very curious to if I'm going to meet him in heaven one day, because that is my goal. That is my goal. My goal is to be with him in heaven one day. God showed me what he would look like. I imagined in my mind of what he would look like. He was buried at King's Funeral Home in Lake Charles, Louisiana. And one day, sometimes, I do things when he's heavy up on my mind, heavy up on my heart. I went to the King's Funeral Home website and I saw this young man that passed away that would have been the same age with him, born in the same year as my baby here. And I saw this was what, 2 years ago? I think 2 years ago. I think 2 years ago. And I was able to imagine what he would look like 2 years as of today, 2 years from today. I imagine what he would look like. I was like, wow, wow. My baby is what 28. And so he would be 27. So 2 years from 27, I looked at what he would have looked like at the age of 25. Yeah. And I was like, wow. So I don't know. I sit here sometimes and I can just only imagine. So good morning. But it didn't. I still I still didn't surrender all the way I think God would have loved me to have surrendered. I put down the weed, but I didn't go all the way. And I'm going to skip over some of my testimonies and hop into how do I get from fame to faith? A lot of years had gone by since his passing. Got into a little trouble, domestic violence. We'll talk about domestic violence awareness. Comes up in October, but domestic violence is every day. I'm surrounded by it all the time, whether I'm hearing someone, around my place within the last month or so, I've been hearing domestic violence. And I've even had to call the police. I can't get it out. Anonymously. I can't get it out. But I didn't know I called. I can't get out the word. I can't get out the word. But yeah, well, I can't get out that word. Anonymously. Okay, I get it. Tongue tied this morning. Okay. And so, we can pass by and say, hey, That ain't me. That ain't my problem. But what if that was you? What if that was you? Can you guys hear me well? Oh, I hope you guys were able to hear me. Hold on. Yeah, I look like I saw it blinking. Look like I saw it blinking. I hope my mute is not on now. I think my mute is. I hope I didn't mute myself. Okay, just checking my. Okay, I think I'm good. I'm good. But I called. I called. I called anonymously. The question is, would you want if that was you? Would you want someone to call? If someone can hear you passing up your door, your place, and they hear you yelling and screaming, and would would you want someone to call? Would you want someone to help you? Sometimes we feel like it's none of our business. But as a young lady getting beat up, I would want someone to call if I was getting beat up. If I had gotten cornered in a situation. You don't quite know each individual person's situation. I could shouldn't be there. She probably been with him for a long time. Well, that's easy. That's easy said than done. I've never been cornered like that to where I had to be in a situation like that for a very long time, but it happens. Some they become codependent on their abuser. I literally saw a lady on Metro saying, "Yes, sir. No, sir." He was telling her to be quiet. Yes, sir. Some women get mind control like that. That's why it's very important that you make sure you don't follow anyone. I mean, not follow anyone. Where that come from? You make sure that whoever you're following, you have checked them out. You have. I'm getting all entangled. You make sure that you check them out. And it's five W's: who, what, where, when, why, and then how. Five W's in your age. Implement those before you start following people. And now you have all this sex trafficking going on. Then you have all this sex trafficking going on with P. Diddy and allegedly. And I've been keeping up with that for simply because, infamous pastor was initially named in it. And I'm not going to jump into too much details about all that. I'm going to allow the FBI and the feds, do all their investigations on that. I hope it ain't from fame to fall for him. Yeah, so things happen. That's why I went from fame to faith. That's why we're having this conversation. Not somewhat surrounded by P Diddy, but someone. Well, maybe, maybe, maybe they never posed the direct question to me. When I spoke about my appearance in Hollywood. That was years ago. That was years ago. What have you done lately? Well, we're gonna talk about it. And this fame to faith. Fly Girl Friday. We're gonna have that conversation. We talk about whatever here. That's we want to make sure everybody on the same page. What are we talking about with, you know, house rules. Keep it pure, keep it clean, no profanity, keep it clean. And for those, that now travel is a lot more popular these days, and some may have travels booked with other agencies. Let's keep it respectful. If you want to tell your travel stories, hey, I would love to hear your travel stories, but as a house rule, do not promote your agency. Or if you are an agency, do not promote just a few house rules. But if you want to come on and talk about your travels and your endeavors, and hey, we could talk about whatever, but let's keep it pure, let's keep it clean, and let's keep it respectful. So that's just a few house rules. I don't have many, but hey, other than that, we can talk about whatever. Let's talk about cruises. Yeah, let's talk about whatever you want to talk about. But again, let's keep it respectful. Everyone, here, everyone's opinion. Yeah, everyone's views, everyone's perspective, everyone's beliefs. Yeah, for the most part, we've been doing real well on that note. But I just thought that I just finally bring out the disclaimer of the house rules. That's all. All right. So there's all this P. Diddy controversy going on, allegedly, that he's involved in allegedly some sex trafficking. They are investigating. No charges have been made. And so we just kind of wanted to just bring that to the forefront on the table here. Let that brew. And how is that relatable to me from fame to faith and my testimony? Moving from, the passing of my son, my baby, I didn't surrender right away to Christ, and I stayed in the world. Some fear was put in me. I gave up the marijuana, but I was hard-headed. I didn't think I was hard-headed. I didn't think I was hard-headed like that. Hold on, you guys. Let's just you guys. I don't want to. I don't want the full screen to show. Well, I don't want to do. That's not what I want to do. But this is not what I want to do. Let me press. That's not what I want to do. That's not what I want to do. Let's see now. If it'll do what I wanted to do. That sound like what I want to do. Yeah, yeah, that's kind of what I want to do. Bear with me. Want to do? We'll see. I think that's kind of what I want to do. I think that's what I want to do. Okay, so this cappuccino good. Hazelnut is good. Hazel. So I am a domestic violence advocate because after my son passed away, I did get into some some domestic violence, and I'm gonna save that testimony for another day. Actually, they're showing the whole thing. It's showing the whole thing. Whole thing. It was supposed to stay right here. I don't know why it switched. What I'm trying to do is keep my music in the background, is what I want to do without showing all of that. I'm trying to keep some music in here. I don't like talking just dry. That's what I want. So, Chris, get to the story. Okay. So I was in some domestic violence. I was in a domestic violence situation leaving out of Lake Charles, Louisiana. And I I ran to the mother church. We have a mother church in Lake Charles, Louisiana, Refuge Temple Ministries. And I ran to the sanctuary. I did. I ran to the sanctuary. It was just that disturbing for me. My aunt was living in Houston, Texas, and I don't know. I guess I just didn't want to burden my auntie, and so I just called the church. I knew what to do. I knew I knew throughout all the years of spending time with my auntie, being with my auntie, all the prayers she has prayed upon me, it had just been instilled in me. It had I've been taught to call upon God for the most part, and so that's what I did. And so something instinctively, spiritually maybe, knew to pick up the phone and call for help. I would always call I the church in Lake Charles, Louisiana, and God answered. God answered my call. And not just when you get in trouble, but you got to know who to talk to, who to call instead of picking up the phone calling your BFF. I've called all my friends as I was going through it, and none none of my friends had a something pop off. They was ready to ride with me, but then they would only ride so far, you know. They was only to ride so far. Really lay it down, like yeah, you know. And when I say lay it down, and what I mean by that, and the mindset that I was in was not a good. Yeah, this is not doing what I wanted to do. It replayed it. That's off for now. That's becoming a distraction for me. So, they didn't do what I wanted them to do. The mindset, you know, Satan was having me to be in, you know. in defending myself and retaliating against my abuser. Two wrongs don't make a right. Let's be clear. Two wrongs don't make a right. And the way I was taught to fight and defend myself, that was getting ready to land me in a world of trouble. And you know, you're the way I was taught just to fight, just to physically and naturally no matter who it was. I was taught if someone was bigger than me, pick up something and knock the mess out of 'em. And so that included my abuser. That's what I saw. If a man tried to fight me, fight him back. That's what I was taught. I literally saw my mother. I'm gonna say this, and I'm not gonna say anymore. I literally saw my mother pick up an axe after a man she was fighting with, like a dude. And so that's what I saw. And so that's what I knew to do. And so here it is, someone was abusing me, and I began to physically fight back, and I expected all of my friends and all of my relatives to do the same because I would do the same for them. I literally have stood in front of bullets, a gun, and for my own child, my oldest son. And so I expected. I'm the type of person, if I ask you to do something, I am that type of person. And that's maybe why I feel a certain type of way when people don't do it. I used to be that ride or die chick. People would call me at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, wanting to, you know, meet folks in the trap. It was going down. I was that chick. I was that ride or die chick. But at the end of the day, nobody was riding back with me. And that reality kicked in for me when I was being abused in this domestic violence situation. People didn't want to get involved. And maybe that's why I called the cops when I heard this, young lady. This had probably been about a month ago. I heard a young lady screaming and hollering next to me, at my place. And I called the police because I would want someone to step in that position, or whether she, was unwilling or unknowing she was putting herself in that position. I still would want someone to help me if I was to ever be cornered in a situation like that. And I tried to ignore the screams. As a matter of fact, the day before I did because I had my own problems, and God allowed it to happen again, and it was presented before me again. And I called the police. If I wouldn't want no one to pass me by, if I was being abused, because I have been in that situation before. And when I ran to the sanctuary to the church, the mother church in Lake Charles, Louisiana, I ran to the ark of safety. I felt safe. And when I pick up the phone to call Jesus, because that's what I would do when I would call my auntie. I was calling God. I was calling Jesus. I was calling God for help. And so when I called the church, I was calling God for help. And so our prophetess mother, Debbie Shelvin, she picked up the phone and she told me to come meet her at the church. And I met her in the sanctuary. And she told me, she said, Satan trying to take you out. You in this situation. And now that Satan is trying to take you out. And that's what it was. Satan was trying to destroy me as I was. The moment you make up your mind to get out of a situation, and it doesn't matter any type of situation, that God has not approved, He has not signed off on. It was never His will, you know, even with me leaving fame, even with me going from fame to faith, you know, anything that is outside of God's will, and you want to get out. It can either be difficult to get out, and again, that's why I call the police. It could be emotionally or physically, financially. It could be difficult to get out. And it was difficult for me to get out. It took for me to leave Louisiana to get out. That's why I left Louisiana, because of the domestic violence situation that I was in, and God spoke to me about it. And the moment I made up my mind to get out, Satan tried to destroy me. And so I called the mother church. I spoke with our prophetess mother, Debbie Shelvin, and she told me in the sanctuary I had a calling upon my life to be saved. And this is after the passing of my son. Years had passed by. I was still in the world, so years had passed by, and God will allow certain situations to continue to get your attention. And so because I didn't surrender years prior, God was still allowing devastating things to come upon me. Like, what? Wow. And this guy found me in a whole nother city. I was not even living in the same city with this person. I was living in Lafayette, Louisiana. And this person found me from Lake Charles, Louisiana, had remembered seeing me when I was like 19, 20 years old. I was working at a service station. Yeah, I worked at a service station. I worked at a truck stop. I love trucks. And so I would be around a lot of truckers in the casino. I off of I-10, and what was that? Belden? What was that Texaco truck stop? I-10 by the Popeyes and Boulevard. What was that? Texaco and Belden or Belgium? Something like that. Well, you got from those that are from Lake Charles, Louisiana, you know about the King Ransom truck stop. So I was there. Attached was that little casino. And so I got to have that experience being around a lot of truckers, and I wanted at one point in my life I wanted to be a truck driver. Yeah. And my mother said no because I had babies and she wouldn't watch my babies. She said no. Mm-mm. So I didn't become a trucker. So, oh God, I had tons of experiences. Someone said, "Man, you lived an amazing life." I did. I did. Can anything good come out of yes, me. I've had so many experiences. I had so many and that that led me to my career and in entrepreneurship opportunities and from fame to faith, not from fame to failure. I didn't fail at it. I went from fame to faith, and so I was in this situation. This person found me in a whole nother city. I fell for it, and I once I realized I made a mistake, I began to get out of there, and Satan tried to literally destroy me. And our prophetess mother told me how to call up on my life to be saved. And I started going back to did I start going back to church in Lake Charles? I can't remember. I can't remember if I started. I began to read my word, begin to read my Bible, Psalms, a lot, and then I began to call my aunt in Houston, Texas, and my aunt began to come with me. I had a couple of court appearances because to fight my way out, you know, of that domestic violence situation. And so I did what I knew. I did what I was taught to do, physically fight a man back, and that did not work for my good. Physically fighting him back because I know I got in trouble. Go figure. And this female detective, she somehow became a enemy to me, and she turned on me, and I'm not going to dive into that story. There are a lot of moving parts, and a lot of there's a lot of moving parts to that situation. And so just know that at some point I'll tell that story later, but I'm not ready for that story. It was just too many moving parts to that story, and deeper than what anyone could even imagine. And I don't even know how I survived, but I know how I survived. God spared me. He kept me throughout it all. Began to pray with me. She even came with me to a couple court appearances. She began to hold my hand. I love my aunt. That's why it's going to be bittersweet to see her go, to see her leave Texas. She and I had some journeys across I-10 together, and we had some stories, you know. Um, and so I went through my last court hearing, and no matter, I was going to be obedient. I was going to be, well, I guess, somewhat obedient. And when I say somewhat obedient, when our prophetess mother had told me what was going on with that situation, and the meanings behind, things that I privately told her, she was on point. And when she told me to get out, I got out. Maybe I should have I should have stayed connected with her, for more counsel, um, and so I got out of there by all means necessary, and I got out with some scratches. I did, and I got out with more. I think it was more than scratches. I got out with some wounds. I didn't get out with scratches. I got out with some wounds, and I came to Christ right away. Every time He has saved me out of all of those tragedies, and I still was hard-headed, and I still let me see, you say we're having some connection trouble. Okay, we still live. And so I was just in awe. They say, I've been taught rather, that you are who you are attracted to. And so I was attracting all sorts of people that Okay. Well, I did kind of attract some people like that in the Lake Charles, Louisiana area. I used to sit for the ex-mayor of Lake Charles, Louisiana, James Sutton. He has passed on years. Some entrepreneurship in Lake Charles, Louisiana, display marketing with the rainbow vacuum cleaner and John Stelly's wife at Nissan. He did all the Nissan commercials. And right towards my end, right before I left Louisiana to come to Texas, I began to attract people, you know, people that were famous, people, that were either people that were locally famous first, back home and begin to meet more famous people. And I don't know, I never was starstruck. I've always seen them like regular people. I met Dorothy Cook in person for the first time. I met Stormy Wellington, um, Mr. Felton, in the group Confunction. Like I used to babysit his son. And so and there were other famous people that I've met in person. I uh, there was a rapper that I took a photo with. I never and so I don't know. It all became not it was just all natural for me. And so I've had many entrepreneurship opportunities, and I became a part of this company, Artists International, and I didn't surrender right away. I did not. I got caught up in the life. And I really wasn't even trying to be a single mom wanting to pay my bills. And I've never been someone that had been stuck on money. Never. And to be honest, the person who introduced me to the health and wellness industry, I was not even a believer at first. $1. I invested $1. $1. I had went to although I was on time here today, I hopped on the live at 10 a.m. right on time. There were still a lot of things that I want to pull up and show, but I invested in this company. Let me see. I invested and I'm gonna be looking for something while I'm here. And the young lady who introduced me to to this health and wellness company, she was not even in Texas. She was in Louisiana, and she reached out to me way, platform. And when I mean platform, you in this in your mind, you in this state, this huge state, Texas, versus from, when you come from Louisiana and hear someone reaching up to you on this high state platform in Texas, asking you about this company, asking you about this business. And I'm like, no, I'm not interested in that. I've never heard of such a thing. Well, I have. I've heard of Avon. I think my aunt, years ago, had an interest in Avon, and one of my my brother-in-law, he had an interest in the Noni company, and I think I may have heard, and I did the rainbow vacuum cleaner. Oh, we got kicked out. My whole Google Chrome crashed, and so I had to hurry up and restore it. But we're still live. We're still actually the live is still it's still live, and so we got kicked out. That wasn't a Facebook thing. That my Google Chrome just blew. It was showing we had some connectivity issues. So, but that's okay. And so, where was I? I'm just not gonna fool with anything right now. So, and so I did the rainbow vacuum cleaner, and so I had gotten a taste of entrepreneurship before I left Lake Charles, Louisiana. This was back in what 2003, 2003, 2004, somewhere along those lines. And hopping back over to Texas, this young lady introduced me to this health and wellness company. That's what I switched over to do. That's what I switched over to do. I'll show you guys real quick. And so she kept trying to get me into this health and wellness company. I'm like, no, I'm into real estate. In Lake Charles, Louisiana, God had told me, not to take my PSI exam. And I listened to the voice. God is always talking to me, and I listened to him, and bam, the market crashed in 2008. So that's what happened why I didn't move forward in real estate. And when I got to Texas, I said to myself, well, that can be another opportunity now that I'm here in Texas. Things, years later, from 2000 and what year did I move to Houston? I forgot what year I moved to Houston. Video has no sound. Let's see. This was the company I was exposed to. This was the company I was exposed to. Artists International. This was 2014. Man, it was amazing. This was a fashion show that they put on. This was one of the artists compress shirts, designer compression tops, cute. That's our godmother, Dorothy Cook. So this was the company. Yeah, this is a couple of our compression cute designer tops. And this is our penny liner there. Not our penny liner. Yeah, our penny liner that uplifted the buttocks, which she has on. These some cute tops that we had. Artist cute tops. These were the artist models. And that was me. And so back in the day, that was back in the day, and I invested $1 into this company. The young lady, she kept coming after me, wanting me to wanted to sponsor me, wanted to sponsor me in this company, and I kept telling her, "No, I'm not interested," because my I had a tunnel vision mindset. You know, I'm wanting to go back to real estate school here in Houston, Texas, and I got the opportunity to work for a real estate agent and do some apartment locating to be his assistant, and that was my focus. And so she kept after me. She's like, $1. That's it, $1. I got to Hollywood off of a $1 investment. I invested my $1. And she came to Houston. She came to my office. I was able to use the office, same office as this real estate agent. You know, I got the privilege to work with. She came to the office and we went to the bathroom. She slapped on this body magic on me. I was like, oh my God. Though it was nothing like it back then. All these health and wellness companies, fitness companies now that has popped up, it was nothing like what I was a part of back then. Nobody was doing it. Nobody. Nobody was doing the waist trainers like that back in the day. And that full body magic garment was just, oh my God, it literally pushed back your shoulders. It compressed compressed your stomach and it uplift the buttocks and it just straightened everything up. That thing was a beast. It was a beauty. It was a medical graded garment. And so I fell in love with it. And she and I, we did not see eye to eye. We did not see eye to eye. And she, again, it was weird how it happened because I began to find out I had things in me that I didn't even know I had in me. She challenged me. And when she challenged me, I don't know, something came out of me I've never seen before. It, oh my goodness. She was, she was back in Lake Charles, Louisiana. She didn't have access to what I had access to here in Houston, Texas. So when she challenged me, she said, "You ain't nothing but $1 member. See you at the top." Oh, I'll never forget those words. I never knew I had a competitive spirit. Never knew. In my mind, I didn't say it out loud, but in my mind, I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna show you." And so I began to attend the Houston conferences. The leaders, the artist leaders would come here to Houston. They really wouldn't go to Lake Charles. So I had access to them here in Houston and I would go meet them, you know. Dorothy Cook, I would go meet him. My upline was in Atlanta, Larissa Barclay. I don't remember Larissa coming here to Houston. If she did, it wasn't the times that I've gone to the meets, to the conferences. And so Kenny Lloyd, Stormy Wellington, you know. But prior to meeting Stormy, it was mainly Godmother, Kenny Lloyd, and other leaders here in the Houston area that was local here in the Houston area. So I began to meet them, but I still would be on telephone conferences with Larissa Barclay. She was my upline supervisor, executive. I think she was an executive. Um, they were artists at that time, and Nicole and Robert Jackson. Now they're with the credit repair company, Nicole and Robert Jackson. But back then, they all was in a part of this company, and I was getting trained by all of these amazing people, and these people ended up having a reality show, the first health and wellness company to do it. To be a part of a reality show called the Millionaires Club, and I did everything that they told me to do outside of God, outside of this faith here that I'm now living. And so I was obedient to everything that they was telling me to do. Helen Delahousse, the marketplace minister, and I just watched them and I learned from them. And they didn't know I was learning from them, but that's what they told us to do. And so they told me people be like, I don't want to get on a conference call. I don't want to do this. They got all these excuses, I got kids. And okay, I did too. I had kids. I was living in a city and state hardly without any family or friends. And so for me, that was my one shot. I had to make this work as a single mom. I needed income to take care of me and my kids as a single mom. And so I had to make this work. So I studied. I studied the business. I studied the craft when no one knew I was studying. I got on the conference calls. Even if I felt something was inconvenient, which I never felt it was inconvenient, I was learning. You learn. You're learning. I hear people all the time, "Oh, I don't like those conference calls." Those conference calls will save your life financially. What? You're not gonna get on a conference call to learn about your business? Really? Oh, I don't have the time. Well, it becomes your own business. And so you work it, even though your sponsor or whoever enrolls you would like to see you do better, and would like to see you working in your business and building your business, the way it has been designed, for you to spend a lot more time investing into building it, you know. But then they also understand because they come from the same, they come from some of them come from the same background. Single mom. You listen to the stories of them. Single mom. They come out of, can anything good come out of Nazareth? Some have stories of coming out of Nazareth, you know, and so that they had to make those same decisions, life changing decisions as you had to make. But they weighed the pros and cons. They took a leap of bold faith, and I saw them taking a leap of bold faith, and so I said, "Hey, if they can do it, I could do it too." And so I did it, you know. And so I put in the necessary time when I could. And I had a disabled son. My oldest son had a mild cognitive learning disability. So I really couldn't work my business the way that I needed to, the way that I wanted to. And they would teach you, even if you could put in 30 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, 30 minutes a week, put in something into learning your craft. Like, what sense does it make to invest in something you're not going to take the time to learn what it is, and you're just expecting money, just or riches and fame just to drop out the sky, with your investment, with the investment that you put into it. That was the first step. Anything that you invest into, not just a company, in your faith, you have to do something. Someone actually told me they don't think they have to do anything. Christ paid it all. They don't have to do anything. No, 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 no. That's not facts. You have to put in works into anything. Nothing is given to you. People want things given to them. People want things handed to them, and then they wonder why they see, someone in a place of what they desired. Well, those people put in the work, real work. They went the extra mile, and that's what I did. I went the extra mile. And for me, it started off with someone challenging me. And to this day, she never made it to the top. To this day. And so that was something I discovered in me, that I had a competitive spirit. And you were just not gonna beat me. Period. And all the work that I put into it, it did pay off. I didn't make the actual money that I wanted to make, but I had been put in positions of opportunities that I could have never. So I do owe a lot to those people in this company that I was a part of. I was a part of something naturally bigger than myself. And it got me all the way to Hollywood. It exposed new opportunities to me. I mean, I how I got to Hollywood from fame to faith. I was being obedient what my coaches was teaching me to do. We hustled. I was a hustler. And I've learned that from Lake Charles, Louisiana, coming out of Nazareth, hanging out with the people that I hung out with. I don't call any names, but I hung out with people who sold drugs. I've watched them hustle from male to females. I did. I hung out with women, big time drug dealers. I was always too scared to do it. Me. Mm-mm. I hung out with men, drug dealers. I'm not gonna call any name or my associations with them. They could tell their own stories, but I have literally watched them hustle, and I have observed hustle, and I applied that into my work ethics. No, I took the other way. While they was hustling in the streets, I was hustling on the job. My mother made me go to work, by the way. When had my first son at 18 years old, coming out of high school, I got pregnant at 18 years old, and I walked across my high school graduation stage pregnant. And my mother said, "No, you're not living up off welfare. You're gonna go get a job." So my mother, maybe I didn't see nothing wrong with it, but my mother said I never knew what it was about, going to get a job. And so, but I discovered I love to work. My first job was at Robbinswood in Lake Charles, Louisiana, working with the adult, what they call them, adult mental retardation, independent living. That was my first job coming out of high school, and I began to attract people that were in college. And so I had a desire to go back to school, go back to college, because I was attracting people of who I was and intellectually. I can't even talk this morning. I'm trying to say I'm educated. Intellectually. I got it. Okay. We're not doing that today. We can't talk this morning. I think I'm still tired from yesterday. I didn't go to the dinner yesterday because I'm just tired. I'm just tired. I've been to those dinners. We have them annually. And so I wanted to come out and be with you guys. And so I got to hang out with the college kids. And oh my God, did I have fun? God. Anyway, back where I was. And so with this company, I was obedient. I did what they instructed me to do. While folk complaining, I wasn't complaining. I was working. I was working when people didn't see me working. And these are the results of getting on a call. When someone tell you get on a conference call, get on a conference call. When someone tell you to watch a video, watch a video. If they're not telling you to do nothing evil or telling you to do something illegal, do it. Get on the video. Get on the conference call. Make the time. You make time for mess, gossip, and drama. Make time to invest in your company and your business. I had one, and if you guys notice, I don't really do it. One of my sponsors, she was our executive president. Larissa was back then our executive president in Artists International. She was my executive president. This stayed with me to this day. If you notice, I don't have all sorts of frivolous things up and down my timeline, a whole bunch of silly stuff. I just recent from time to time, I may put up you know, a, uh, meme, a comical meme of cats. I love cats. They're so cute and adorable. I may put up from time to time a meme of, some cute pups and dogs. And I just been doing it probably within the last month or so. But a part of my coachings and teachings, when you're serious about business, not to be putting up all that personal stuff on your page, playing all them games, and people want to play all them games on their timeline, Facebook, or on some of these social media websites. They want to play some of these games and create all these, what they call them, photos that's not even them. Y'all better be, I saw a meme. Someone posted a meme yesterday. Y'all better be careful about creating photos that's not even like you. Y'all come up missing one day. People ain't gonna know who to come looking for. Um, those. And so I don't do all that. I'm strictly about my business. I'm serious about my business at the end of the day. And and the purpose behind that is so people can take you serious. People don't take some of you guys serious. So one time I've heard I was too serious. Well, you wonder why I got exalted to Hollywood and you didn't. If you don't take your business serious, who gonna take it serious? Nobody else gonna take it serious. Dr. Cook always used to teach us, about, dressing the part. You can't sell a dream looking like a nightmare. And boy, back then I didn't. That's how I got to Hollywood. Boy, I began to dress up, and I began to impress producers. I dress when I need to. How about that? I dress when I need to. When the opportunity is being presented, I dress when I need to. And so that's what got me where that hard work, taking in all those nuggets and executing all those nuggets. And one day I was hustling. I was at a Walgreens. I was hustling. And I met a young lady. It became so natural for me to hustle and just to ask and just to present the opportunity to anybody. And I was just hustling, and there was this young girl coming out of Walgreens. It is, and my Hollywood opportunity was presented out of Walgreens. You never know. The strangest places. And I asked her if she needed a job. She said no. She said, but I need a place to stay. And I opened up my doors to her, and I gave her a place to stay, and we began to talk business. And it didn't work out. It didn't work out with her. And I'm gonna just say it like that. And before you know it, I got a letter in the mail for opportunity to be on a reality show. I didn't think it was real. I didn't think it was real. It didn't work out between me and her. And I got this letter in the mail because she disagreed on how I handled a situation. And so I was sued here in Houston, Texas, because this young lady did not agree. I'm not going to put her on blast. She did not agree how I was handling the situation. I did not agree on how she was presenting herself and what, I offered her in me opening up my home to her. She was very disrespectful in my home, but say it like that. And so she sued me, and we could have went to the local courts, and we were never related, but we had the same last name, and that was very attractive. That was very attractive to the reality shows, and somehow the reality shows start screening our city and state, Houston, Texas, and found us. And then I got the letter and asked if I wanted an appearance on their show. I didn't have to. I didn't have to go. I didn't have to go. And so it was just being aligned and positioned all at the right place and at the right time. That situation gave me an opportunity to have an appearance on a reality show. And I didn't think it was real. I called my cousin, who I thought was my male cousin in Richmond, Texas. I called him, man, you think that's real? And we all like, man, I don't know if that's real, man. Call him and see, call him and see. And I called. And when I called, I did my interview right there on the spot with the producer. And those producers know what to do. Boy, he was pumping me up and he was just letting me go at it, interviewing me right there on the phone. And asking me to tell him about the story of what happened, and I'm just going at it, and boy, I guess I could tell a story, huh? And I began to tell my story and my version and my side of it. And he was like, yeah, girl, go ahead, girl. And he was pumping me up and whoa, whoa, whoa. And it was all for entertainment purposes, and he loved it. And so he was like, well, it's no guarantee we're gonna choose you. So I'm like, okay. And so that was that. And I called my cousin back, told him what happened. I'm like, they saying, there's no guarantee. So it's like, well, let's just see what happened. And I didn't think any other way, yay or nay. I just let it stay as he said, you know. And before you know it, I got tickets coming in the mail. I got another envelope. It was time to go. I got free tickets. They paid for my flight. They paid for my hotel stay. And I don't have all the photos that I want to have. I'll more than likely share this testimony again. Um, they paid for my tickets. My tickets are on my plane tickets is actually on my old Facebook page. They paid for my flight. They paid for my beautiful hotel stay. I paid for nothing. They gave me a check, whether I won or lost, and I took my son with me. I took my son with me, and I exposed him. Give me one second. I began to expose him to the life. And so he had an opportunity to come with me. So this is not about me living up off my kids and my kids' success. I took my kids with me. I took my son with me, the one that wanted to come. And let me see. And we went out to LA. We were able to go out to LA. And oh my God, I can't play the song. And it was like Satan was just pumping me up to Hollywood, just aligning everything up to Hollywood. And Satan even gave me a theme song. I had my theme song. This was 2015. I had my theme song, Bruno Mars. And here it is. I was already told that I had a calling to be saved. And here it is. I regret nothing, but here it is. I was exposed to this company, and that was larger than life itself. This health and wellness company. Yeah, that's me inside of the television. That is me. That is my pearls. That is actually a tie, a necktie of pearls. So she wear pearls, babe. She wear pearls. And God, the palm trees. Satan gave me my theme song, Locked Out of Heaven with Bruno Mars. And you make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven. And I was just bopping, and I got to traveling. This is me. I forgot which street we were riding on, but this is in Hollywood. Satan was just setting me up. I was riding down Hollywood, and I saw my name on the street sign. I was supposed to be there. This is really real. And I saw green light, red light. It was like, okay, at first I was at a red light here, just hustling and here in Houston. Then all of a sudden, somebody green light me, and I was gone. And I didn't take this picture. People began to see me on television, and people began to send me photos of me on television. And so this photo was sent to me. And they said they was going to send me a tape. And I told them no. I didn't want them to send me a tape of my appearance. And it's because I felt like I was a star. I did. I felt like I was a star. I made it. And I had began to listen to testimony of actresses, saying how they don't watch their movies, once they're out there. And so I didn't want to watch my replay. So I never received a tape of my appearance. And so this is all I have. Someone sent me this. This is the actual, yeah, the Dolby Theater. I shot this in Hollywood. These are my photos. This is my son feet. Yeah, I took him with me. Is this Jennifer Lopez? The Jennifer Lopez star, Hollywood Walk of Fame. We got to do the Hollywood Walk of Fame. This is back in 2015. And so I was having the time of my life with my theme song. Now, this is the only thing I didn't come prepared for with my Fly Girl Friday cappuccino in a chat. I didn't pull up my YouTube video because I met up with one of our childhood friends, my brother that passed away, one of his closest friends, Sheffield. He lives in LA. And I called him because I didn't know nothing about LA. And I called him, because I needed somebody I knew, to connect with to make sure I was going to be okay. Called him, hey, he was like a brother to the family. Hey, Chef, I'm out here in LA, bro. And I was like, man, you out here? Yeah, I'm out here. And I got to tell him, hey, I'm getting ready to be on a reality show. Like, no way, man, come on. And so he took me to his hottest spots in LA, and I we got to have the LA experience. No, it wasn't that time. All by myself. That time, and he took me out to eat sushi. I hate sushi. And so I had my LA experience, and oh my God, guys, I ain't gonna lie to you. In LA, someone told me, "Oh, I just visited LA." No, I didn't visit LA. This is really me in the TV. See, that's me. They did my hair. They did my makeup. They literally had me in my own dressing room and powdered me up. I really felt like a star. I made it. Yeah. And so I was in my Hollywood chair in the dressing room background. It was an amazing experience. It was. I can't deny it. It was an amazing experience. And I'm sharing how amazing it was for me. This side of it, looking at it from the outside, is mind blowing. Well, Christina, how could you give all this up then? Okay, I'll get to that part. I was having the time of my life. I made it. I already started planning out how we're going to take care of my family, my mom, my family, and everything. And this was it. This was it. I was on CBS. This is CBS. God allowed me to go. Mind you, of what I said, that when I ran, once God had got me out of that domestic violence situation in Lake Charles, Louisiana, our prophetess mother prophesied that I had a calling up on my life to be saved. And once I got out of Louisiana and came over to Texas, I forgot all about that. I forgot all about that. It's not that I didn't believe her. I just forgot all about it. Satan began once again began to take me further and further away from my calling. And I he God allowed it too. I've gotten this far. My life was getting ready to be changed forever. And Shafiel and I, we shot a whole clip, because come to find out, he was trying to do some acting out there in LA. That's why he was shot, because he was living right there in LA and could not get the opportunity that I had. And here it is, I'm coming from Texas and got this opportunity that he been trying to get. And so he was, I think Sheffield was playing with some acting, going to some acting school. And so again, he took me to, to eat some sushi and stuff. So we hung out. And then I want to show that to you guys too. I'll share this test. I'll share a little bit later. But we actually did a whole shot on the LA streets out there in LA. If you live out there in LA, for those that's trying to become actors and actresses, people began to film out there on the LA streets. They literally go to. We went to a restaurant. We went to a fast food restaurant, and Shafiel had his filming equipment. I think he just did it from his cell phone, and we shot a Black Planet. He was trying to be a producer or something, and we shot a whole Black Planet scene. I shot and this was whirly and lustful. It was a Black Planet romantic love scene that I shot with this white guy. Shafiel wanted to have, he wanted to capitalize off of it, and so we shot this scene, on the LA streets. I still have that video clip too, and but I hid the video because that's not my life anymore. That's not where I'm at anymore. I was in the world, and so we shot that scene, and he put it on YouTube. And let me back up. Right before I got this opportunity to go to Hollywood and to have an appearance on this reality show. I kind of was playing with some acting here in the local Houston area, and I say play with it, very loosely, because I wouldn't even say I was playing with it. I was doing someone a favor, a free favor. So someone purchased a body magic garment from me here in the Houston area, and it was this girl. I'm not gonna call her name. She was the one more trying to play with acting and producing here in the local Houston area. I didn't take her serious because I never saw her going anywhere. Some people, may have connected previously with this young lady. I have nothing against her, but they may have previously connected with this young lady thinking they were going to go somewhere. I didn't get to Hollywood based off of that young lady whatsoever, and I'm just gonna leave it at that because her work itself, was not Hollywood material. And to this day, she has never gone to Hollywood. And this has been since 2015. And I see some of my haters partnering up with this young lady thinking that I made it to Hollywood off of this young lady. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. FYI. No, ma'am. She had nothing to do with me going to Hollywood whatsoever. Her name was cute, if you into Bunny and Clyde, but and if you into some gangster stuff, but no ma'am. None of her attachment had absolutely nothing to do with me going to Hollywood whatsoever. I think I went to Hollywood because I think God seen, well, somebody saw, the powers that be saw that she probably was trying to get over because I was doing it for free as a favor. She purchased a body magic garment, and you know I began to do some parties, some body magic parties, some health and wellness parties at her place, and don't know, the powers that be knows when someone's trying to get over on somebody. I've always been genuine and upfront. Everything about me, I always lay my agenda up front on the table. I never have a hidden agenda. With me, it's what you see is what you get. I never have a hidden agenda. If I tell you this is where I'm at, this is what I'm expecting, I have nothing else behind it. Maybe the other person does, either because of their disbelief or distrust or whatever they have going on, and maybe that's why God allowed me to go to Hollywood. I was helping her. I was doing her a favor, honestly. She asked me to do it for her for free, for free. And it never crossed my mind whatsoever to become an actor. I was just grateful for the opportunity. And she gave me applause. She gave me applause, you know, and began to tell me who I was and how of a natural I was. And I was like, oh, okay. Hold on, let me take this down just for a second. Let me take this down just for a second. She began to tell me who I was and how of a natural I was. I never whatsoever. I even brought one of my used to be girlfriends there with me, and she did a prank, a comedic prank on the young girl, and I was in on it, and everyone was saying how of a natural I was, and never intended to. I was like, oh, okay, thank you. Who would have thought? I come from Lake Charles, Louisiana, Nazareth, that I would come to Houston, Texas to become someone actress. Never. Never in a million years. Never in a million years. I still don't even get excited about it. Somebody, people here in Houston be putting actors on their profile and nowhere close to being an actress. Don't even get paid for being an actress, and they're affiliated with the people that they thought assumed of how I got to Hollywood. No affiliation whatsoever. Maybe God was trying to show me by them not paying me and what my worth really was and the natural I really was. God showed me, or the powers that be, God allowed it. I'm not saying it was inside of the will of God, but I was not getting paid for that. I was doing it for free. I did it for free. Never got excited about it. I did it for free. She purchased a body magic, so I did it for free. So it's actually like she never purchased a body magic because it's like I gave her material for free. Okay, let that sink in. She paid how much she paid for her body magic. Back then, the body magics was like what 160, 180. The free material that I gave her because of the natural of who I didn't know who I was. She got that for free. So somebody has video clip of me of my potential, and I didn't even know nothing about my potential. And so I'm going to be humble about it, but you may want to bring that back to me so I can autograph it for you. And so because I impressed I impress, and I say this as humbly as I know how. I impress a real Hollywood producer, and that's what my worth was. And I got paid. I got a check. I literally got a check. And I was excited when I watched Terry Crews when he did his interview on Club Shay Shay. I don't like that word Club Shay Shay, but it is what it is. This is sports. Shannon Sharp from sports. So that's how I ended up watching the interview. Terry Crews, and I was able to relate. See, when you in a place of gratitude and appreciation, and you're not being thirsty about this and trying to steal and get things all the wrong ways, and then try to get them all the right ways, and not trying to step on folk, and you're just honest. People can lie on you, but the results and the truth will eventually come out and show itself in the end. One thing about the truth, and sometimes it can be hard, but one thing about the truth never has to defend itself. And as hard as sometimes it may be for me, when I let the truth go, it defends itself. It defends itself because I end up in places where the results don't lie, numbers don't lie, results don't lie. I end up in places and it shows you where the truth was the whole time. And so when I got to do when I got the opportunity, to have an appearance, on a reality show, the truth came out. You get paid. You're supposed to get paid. You're supposed to get a check. You ain't supposed to be doing that for free. But because of my gratitude and the person who I am genuinely, my results came out in the end. Me taking people into my home and the charitable person that I am genuinely, no matter how many lies that gets told on me, the results comes out in the end. And so I ended up being positioned and put in a place where results don't lie. And I was just filled with gratitude. Always be grateful for every single opportunity, and don't be looking for no money, no coins. I wasn't looking for money. I never looked for money from that girl here in the Houston area. I think one time she mentioned money and she took it back. She asked me one time if I wanted. She did, and that's probably where she. Now that I think about it, that's probably where you know the powers that be saw. Okay, this person might be getting over on me. At one time, she did present it, and I didn't think nothing of it. This world is new to me. Being here in Houston, Texas, this city, it's new to me. I had no interest in none of that, producing or being an actress. And at one time, she presented opportunity of me making some money or paying me, and she never did. And so I was doing it for free. And so the truth don't lie. So when someone's taking advantage of you, look how the powers that be would set things up. I'm not gonna say God. Well, when I say powers that be, God allowed it. Let me say it like that. God allowed things to happen. So he allowed things to be set up. Even when people are being taken advantage of in the world. And so I got paid a check, a real check. It was 300 something dollars. And when I heard Terry Crews interview, he said he was just grateful just to be there. Denzel Washington asked him, to play one part in Training Day. And I can't remember. I have to go back to his interview. I can't remember if he said it's almost 12 o'clock. I can't remember if he said he got paid or he didn't get paid, but that opened up, other opportunities, for him, with Ice Cube. And that's how it was. Another opportunity was opened up for me just because I was in a place of gratitude. Although someone said they was going to give me a check or they was going to offer me a role, with a check, they never did. I didn't complain. I didn't say, hey, what my money? Here it is. I'm a single mom, and she was married. This young lady here in Houston, Texas, had a whole husband, and to me, taking advantage of a single mother. I didn't have no husband, never paid me, and I never said nothing about it. I had a tunnel vision focus that was in my health and wellness company that I was building, and just opportunity after opportunity after opportunity was opening up in that area. And so that's how I ended up in Hollywood. People taking advantage of me, and me just being grateful all in the same breath. Is how I ended up in Hollywood. True story. True story. True story. I let a lot of things slide. I do. But when I do speak up, you can best believe that in order for me to speak up, you must really be doing something to me for me to speak up. You must be really offensive for me to really speak up. One thing you never played with me about my children back then, my children, my coins, my money, and you didn't play with my heart. You didn't play with my feelings. Those were things you just didn't play with me on or about. And the money was not coming out of my pocket, so I didn't think nothing of it with this young lady. But if you sit up here trying to take money out of my pocket, then we're gonna have a conversation. one one of us about to be mad, and it ain't about to be me. If I ever think you're trying to mislead me or manipulate me or trying to hustle me out of some money, I will attempt to have that conversation with you. And if you give me a pushback, then you're gonna end up becoming a hater at the end of the day. And so that's how it operated and worked with me. And so I was exposed to this opportunity in Hollywood, and I need to wrap this up. And it was so beautiful how God did it. God said, okay, daughter, I let you go all the way to Hollywood. I let you go all this time. And then and God will use a donkey to speak with you. I went to go change the oil in my car. I went to go change the oil in my car. But I'll have to talk about that later. The type of car that I had. I loved power vehicles. And hello, this is Fly Girl Friday. First, love yourself, girl. This is Sip Cappuccino cruise, telling my testimony of how I ended up in Hollywood from fame to faith. That's all. And so I'm at the part of when God said, when I began to hear God's voice, that it's time for me to come on home. It's time for me to answer my calling. This is me in the television. That's me driving down the Hollywood streets with my name on the sign. That's Dolby Theater out there in Hollywood. This is really me back in 2015, from fame to faith. This is my son feet. We was literally walking on the Hollywood Walk of Fame back in 2015 before it was even popular. Now everybody's touring in Hollywood, but this is actually us in 2015. And I came back to Houston, Texas, and I went to go change the oil in my car on my way back to Hollywood. And God will use a donkey to speak with you. And when I got out my vehicle, there was this lady. She was at the desk, the cashier desk, when you speak to someone initially, when you go to the counter, and you tell them what you want. Hey, I'm here to change my oil. And I did not schedule it. I did not schedule my day to go change my oil that day. I was just passing along my road, and I think I had checked my oil before I left my place. And I said, I need to go get my oil changed. And so I think I was just driving up and down my road, leaving my place, and I saw there was this oil uh, c- uh, place, store, whatever, sitting right there at the corner. And I just pulled my car in. It wasn't planned whatsoever. And so I walked up to the counter telling this lady I need my oil changed. And I heard God's voice just as plain as day. Why are you running? Been to Hollywood and everything. Heard God's, and I knew it was God's voice. God is such a gentleman, yet firm. I heard his voice. Why are you running? And I knew who voice it was because I heard that voice before. It wasn't scary or nothing like that. Why are you running? And I said, okay. And I think she comes from some sort of evangelistic teachings, but she was not a part of our ministry at Refuge Temple Ministries. But I began to go home. When I say home, to our church here in the Houston Humboldt area at Refuge Simple Ministries. And the moment I began to walk through those doors, the pastor ministering and preaching across the pulpit. You could have sworn someone talked to him, the pastor himself, and told him all about my life. I had not talked to nobody. I had not even talked to my auntie. So I know my auntie. That was the only person I could have known, you know, that would talk to a pastor. If I would have talked to my auntie, and I know I didn't talk to my auntie, so I knew it was God. And so the moment I walked through those church doors from fame to faith, the pastor, whoever was ministering that Sunday, began to speak about pride. You got pride, and boy, I'm like, okay, that ain't for me. That ain't me. I ain't got no pride. But it felt like that word was coming right daggering at me. Bam. I'm like, I ain't got no pride. And I walked out of church service, didn't think nothing of it. Here come another Sunday. I can't say it was back to back, but here come another Sunday. I went. Every time I went after that, God was just dealing with me, dealing with my heart. And it's 11:58. God was just dealing with me, just dealing with my heart. Every time I walk through that has never happened before. And I know I ain't never talked to my auntie. And here it is once again. You got pride. Kept dealing with me. That same word kept coming across the pulpit. God already sent somebody that asked me why was I running, because I was going in the whole I was going in a whole nother direction. Remember at the beginning of this testimony, I said, when you go through things in life, it can do two things to you. It will bring you closer to Christ, or it will bring you closer to God, or it will bring you away from God. At one point, it was bringing me closer, and then I got distracted, and then I began to run. I did not intentionally run from 'em. I didn't know I was running, but I was. I got distracted and I started running. I started going in the opposite direction. I ran all the way to Hollywood instead of where he told me to run. And and then that final time across that pulpit, it must have came about 2, 3 times. I finally heard it. I finally got it. That word pricked me so in my spirit, and also the fear of God that I had previously had the fear of God that I had previously gotten. I think too is that fear of God. They say, the fear, the beginning of wisdom. How does that go? The beginning of wisdom is the fear of God, or the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. The fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. And so, because of my fear, my reverence for Him, my respect for Him, for my Heavenly Father, out of all the situations He has gotten me through, He has spared me and had mercies upon me. I couldn't help but to take the time to hear what He had to say. And I took the time I took the time to hear what He had to say. I became curious about what He had to say. Initially, it didn't feel good when He said it. I'm like, I ain't got no pride. But I've always been taught, if something, is being said about you more than, once, if something keeps being said about you over and over and over, it's best to check into it. My auntie taught me that. It's best to check into it to see if there's some truth to it, you know. And as our father in the gospel, chief apostle would say, consider it. Consider it. I didn't know that's what I was doing in that moment, but I considered it. Now that I think about it, I considered it. I considered if I had pride, and sure enough, I had some pride. And I finally gave up. Gave up. I went to that altar. The pastor kept saying, "The reason why you won't come up to this front because you got pride." And I would not go up. I didn't want. I just got back from Hollywood. I just got through looking like this, with my theme song and Bruno Mars, and I'm stuck in the television. But I was all busted up. I was all broken up. Oh, I had some pride. As cute as I was, cute, I had fame all up on me. I was dressed and decked out all in fame. And there was no way I was about to walk into a church house and admit I was all busted up. I was all broken up. But I was. I was. I was ashamed. As cute as I was ashamed to admit I was all busted up. As cute as I was, look at that hair. Look at that hair. I got Hollywood makeup on. Look at them cheeks. I had just got out of a dressing room. People had just powdered me up. People had just pampered me and makeup. I had just got my hair done. That is really my hair. My hair was beautiful. And you think I had no pride? Who in the world was about to walk up into a church house with fame, dressed out in fame, decked out in fame in Hollywood on them, and then go into a church house and say, I'm messed up? Not me. I wouldn't about to do that. Satan had Satan began to talk to me in my mind, had me thinking people was looking at me in the church. No, I never talked to these people. Never had a conversation with these people. Satan begin to talk. That's how you got. That's why you got to know who be talking to you. Because Satan began to talk to me in that moment. He didn't want me to leave Hollywood. Satan began to talk to me in that moment. Look at these people looking at you, and I'm looking to see who looking at me. And so by the time that third time came around, I kept going back to church. I said, yeah, I got pride, and I let it out. I humbled my little self. I walked up to that front altar. I needed some prayer that day. I really just needed some prayer. And then I was sick and tired of being sick and tired as beautiful as I was. I just had a marvelous time. I got to attend a fashion show. I was on the road. I can't find that picture. I have to share it another time. But I had flew. I did this Hollywood show. I had this Hollywood appearance. I flew out from LA. I came back to Houston. I did a high profile fashion show with what's her name? Tammy Roman from Basketball Wives, with one of our elders in the church, her son Cornell. He had celebrities. He put on fashion shows where he had celebrities. So I just did this appearance, flew out. I mean, I was hitting it back to back, hitting the fame. I was hitting the opportunities back to back. Cornell had put on this high profile fashion show. Just stepped off the plane, and I got to be a part of this high profile fashion show, me and my business partner at the time. And so I was on the road. I was on the road, opportunity after opportunity. And here it is, God calling me from fame to faith. God was calling me, asking me, why are you running? And I was on the road. I was on the road. So I never fail. I never fell from grace. I never fell from fame. I probably wasn't supposed to be there. But because I got distracted, and I allowed the lust of this world. And to me, it could have been, I'm not lusting after this world. I had no, all that I was promoting, because my health and wellness company, the health and wellness companies I was a part of, they was promoting, about being rich and being wealthy. I was promoting it, but I never thought I was about to be wealthy. But I was just moving on bold, worldly faith is what I was moving and operating in. Hey, they told me I could be successful in this health and wellness company, and I believed it. I believed it. It got me all the way to Hollywood. I believed it, and so I did exactly what they told me to do, and I landed here. And so it was real. It was really real. It was so real. It was amazing. And here God come calling me, daughter. Why you running? I told you to be one place. I told you had a calling upon your life to be saved. So why are you over here? Real seriously. Why are you over here? I told you had a calling upon your life to be saved. So why are you here? You had a calling to, I told you, daughter, you had a calling upon your life to be saved. So why are you here? So when I finally said, okay, Lord, I walked, I walked up to the altar for prayer, all busted up. And the crazy part about it, let me back up. When I had my appearance in Hollywood, it was so amazing. They put all this makeup on my face and just beautified me up. Those are my pearls. I had a tie of pearls, and by the time it was so, this experience was so amazing. By the time we walked up into the studio, and those fame lights just hit me all in my face. I feel like a deer in headlights. Oh my God. It was just so amazing. That, like, who would give this up for Christ? I did. I gave it all up. I didn't fall from fame. I gave it up. I didn't have to. I gave it up. People ask me, Well, what are you doing now? Why are you not consistent in your business endeavors? What happened? Well, that's what happened. I gave it up because I heard the voice of God. And I'm not done yet. It's just getting good. We're just getting to the meat of this testimony from fame to faith, how I went from Hollywood to where I'm at now. I didn't fall. I literally made it. I made it from Lake Charles, Louisiana. Can anything good come out of Nazareth? Yes. I literally made it from 2015. I made it. I literally made it. But then I began to hear the voice of God asking me why was I running, because I was previously told I had a calling up on my life. And then going back to the church, when he began to speak to me to ask me, I was just merely getting my oil changed in my car. He used God will use a donkey to speak to you. This lady just started speaking to me. Never met her. Never had a conversation with this lady. She just started speaking all of a sudden and asked me. And I knew it was God. It wasn't her. Daughter, why are you running? She didn't say daughter. She was like, why are you running? I knew it was God. And I started going back to church. Just got back from Hollywood. I started going back to church and across the pulpit. As soon as I started walking through those doors, the pastor was start preaching about pride. Just that word just kept coming at me about pride. And at first, I would not admit I had pride. You can't heal something you will not admit. Let me say this again. You cannot heal something until you admit you have a problem, until you admit that's you. And again, my aunt always taught me if you keep hearing it over and over and over, you might want to check into it to see if it's true, to see if there's some truth to it. A chief apostle would always say, consider it. Consider it. So I considered it. I considered if I had pride. And then once I was honest with myself, then the healing took place. I walked up to the altar, and it didn't even take that many people to pray up on me. A couple of people came to pray for me, but because I was willing and I was smoking cigarettes, I was still drinking beer. I was still drinking my wine, popping my Tylenol PMs, relaxing after I get off from work, all the way to Hollywood, busted up. I told y'all, I would go to bed crying to sleep, all the way to Hollywood. I was crying myself to sleep still, and I've been all the way to Hollywood, still broken up, still crying myself to sleep. I couldn't sleep, so I would cry myself to sleep. I was so busted up. This former NFL football player married a real doctor before I went to Hollywood. Somebody I was seeing when I first got to Houston, Texas, broke my little heart, busted me all up. Just knew I'm about to get married. And so here it is. I'm at the church altar, not a wedding altar. I'm in the sanctuary trying to get healing from everything that I've gone through. Just pain just all up in me from losing my child to loss of devastating relationships I thought that was going to work out. I was all busted up on my way to Hollywood. Really that's success. Is that success? Really? Okay. So I surrendered. I was still smoking cigarettes at the altar. God just wants you to be willing. Even if you had not given up everything yet, it was easy for me to give up the beer. It was easy for me to give up the champagne. But those cigarettes, it was hard for me to give up those cigarettes. But God just wanted to know if I was willing to give it up. And once I had a mind to be willing to give it up, the Holy Ghost just fell upon me. Oh my God. I felt so light as a feather. Nobody had to come and push me down and nothing like that. It didn't happen like that. No. If that's what you're seeing in some churches, then that ain't the real thing. That ain't the Holy Ghost. No. It didn't happen like that for me. I just had to have a willing mind. Someone did a couple of times, came, lay hands on me. They prayed for me a couple of times, and I began to hear God, speak, through them to me, and I listened to God's voice and I obeyed. I surrendered. And because my mind, again, is all in the mind, my mind was willing. My mind said yes. I said, yes, Lord. And I surrendered, and the Holy Ghost fell on me. And I literally fell on the ground. Nobody was there. Nobody pushed me down. That spirit fell on me, and I just fell down light as a feather. At first, I was trying to be in control. I was trying to control it at first. At first, I was like, I don't want to fall, but then I just let go, and I fell, and I felt so light as a feather. The peace, God's peace, just came upon me, and I just felt so light as a feather, and I just began to cry. Oh, did I see? Whoa, I'm gonna begin to cry and just pour myself out to Christ. I began to pour myself out to God, and all that pain that was in me was gone. Oh my God. Oh my God. From this pain to faith, it was gone. I had a peace like I never had before in my life. I didn't even want to leave the sanctuary. They picked me up off the floor and they sat me on the bench, and I would just begin to speak in an unknown tongue I never spoke before. And I was just talking with God. And one of my business partners before she died, she told me, she said, Christina, talk to God. And I just stayed talking. I just stayed right there talking with God. I just stayed there talking with God. And I told him I want to leave. I didn't want to leave the sanctuary. I felt so good. I didn't want to leave. I was too scared to leave the church house. I didn't want to leave. And God began to tell me, he filled me with his spirit, his Holy Ghost spirit. He said, I'm going to teach you how to live. You can leave. It's okay to leave. He said, I'm going to teach you how to live this life. And I've been living this life ever since. From fame to faith. And I got one more story. I had not want to leave ever since. I never want to leave ever since. I've had, even after I got saved, filled with Holy Ghost, I had not want to leave. Not one time. Let me back up. Here we go. I probably should have cut it a little bit shorter. I don't know how much. Yeah. Do you need Ayala's parenting help raising an unruly teen? I got accepted on this show after my salvation. Fame was still Fame was still being offered to me even after my salvation. This came in my text message. No, my email. July 29th, 2020. This came in my email. I still was attached to different production companies that would still offer me opportunities to go back to Hollywood. And I wanted my family healed. Whether my family was going to be healed spiritually or naturally, I wanted them healed. I wanted them to have counsel, whether it was going to be naturally or spiritually. And so I've had plenty of opportunities. I never failed. I never failed from Hollywood. I don't know if people have directed this towards me. What have I did lately? I had that one Hollywood appearance in 2015. What did I do after that? Or I have not been consistent. Yes, I have. I've been very consistent. Just not in the way that others may think that I have been consistent. I moved from consistency in chasing the good life, chasing the high life. I moved from being consistent. I moved from being consistent in chasing the natural dream of success. And I was not paying attention to God. I was not being consistent in chasing God. I was not being consistent in having communion and having this personal relationship with God, with Christ. I was not being consistent with that. And God wanted me because I had the calling up on my life to be saved, I forgot about God. And so I got accepted. I got accepted to go on Ayala Fix My Life. Me and my family, we got invited. We were accepted to go on and this was 2020, from 2015 to 2020 to 2020. I still had associations with Hollywood production companies and the Oprah Winfrey Show. And so me and my family got accepted to Ayala Fix My Life. And my family did not want to air out, their laundry. I'm gonna just say it like that, their laundry. And so my family did not go, so we missed this opportunity. And this was after my salvation. And so the show ended. Ayala Fix My Life had a show finale. And this is what appeared in my email, calling all super fans. Ayala wants to hear from you, beloveds. The time has come. It's the final season of Ayala Fix My Life, and Ayala is planning something special. Do you have a question you always wanted to ask Ayala? Ayala want to share how Ayala has helped fix your life? And so I received that in my email, and I responded, and then I received an email of instructions, on how to shoot. Well, let me back up. There was one more. Okay, let me back up. First, I got accepted to me and my family to actually be on the show. And then my family did not want to go on the show, airing out their laundry. Then, yeah, then I got invited in 2021. Wait, what are the dates? Are the dates back to back? Let me see. Okay, this was 2020, and then this was 2021. Me and my mother, see, congrats, you've been selected to move forward with Oprah Winfrey Network Mother Daughter Show. We got it. Me and my mother got accepted. A casting director review your bio, and congrats, you have been selected to move on to the next round of casting. We're excited to learn even more about your mother-daughter dynamic. Me and my mother got accepted to be on the Oprah Winfrey Show, Mother-Daughter Network Show. We did not go in 2021 because my mother wanted to bring other people, and this was exclusive mother-daughter only. So, what have I done since 2015? I've had a lot of opportunities, from fame to faith. And I'm about to share my final testimony. You see it in writing. Congrats, you've been selected to move forward with the Oprah Winfrey Network Mother Daughter Show. So this is real. So I have been very consistent behind the scenes. And so my mother wanted to my mother initially said yes to go. And the mother daughter show was just to spend time with my mother and maybe some counsel, some beautiful counsel. So my mother didn't go. And then I received this final email. And this is where I stopped. And so I received instructions to do a video, and I just knew it was God. I did I received the instructions. It was from Ayala herself. She sent us a video on instructions on how she wanted us to record our message, on how her show has helped or fixed our life throughout the years just by watching, since we were not able to be on the show. And as I was watching, listening rather to the recording, Ayala said in the recording, sometimes when people come on my show, sometimes they be looking for God. And I kid you not, it was like I was listening to God himself. God was speaking through her to me. And I said, hmm, I already found God. And I received this, what, 21, 22, not that long ago, pandemic. So I've been very consistent in the background. Had plenty of opportunities. From fame to faith, I chose God. I already found God in Humble, Texas, under Refuge Simple Ministries. So, what have I done lately? This is what I've been up to lately, even as recent as 2021, 2022. We in 2023. And things, blessings and opportunities like this still comes at me to this day. And I'm going to say this and I'm going to wrap this up. I chose to walk this walk of faith. Nobody made me do it. Nobody ain't making me do anything. I gave it all up because of my love and my reverence for God and how He's been there for me. He's been there for me the way no one can understand or relate or is willing to admit. The love of being there for me, sending people, angelic voices and people to me, getting me out of situations I never thought I can get out of. When Satan tried to destroy me, I owed it. I owed it. I owed it to God to be here. I don't have to be here. I owe it to Him to be here. If I want to right now go contact a producer, I can do it. I choose to be here. I choose to work the emergency flight assistance. I choose that. I don't have to. I could go easily go contact a producer. But look what all P Diddy is going through, whether it's true or not. I wanted to make sure that if and when I'm ever exalted again, I want God to come with me. I want Him to hold my hand this time. I want Him to be there with me because I was there. I was all the way to the top. I was all busted and all broken. Whether I go back there or not, I will not have it any other way. I will not have it any other way. If He's not there, I don't want to be there. I have experienced some horrible things just being just being local with local people. They don't even know my story, my real story. All I've heard was lies, and they never been where I've been. They never knew this story. All they're sitting here, all they sit up here and do is judge a book by its cover. I've been to Hollywood and back, had plenty of opportunities, just all in my email. And they can't even get one opportunity, one email opportunity. They can't even go there one time. And they're fighting me for what? You know, always yelling, no judging, no judging, but yet they're judging. Don't even know me. Don't even know my story. I choose because of the because he first loved me. And so I'm loving him back. I choose to stay. I don't have to. I could just get up if I want to. Many people can't say that. Many people cannot say if they want to leave their 9 to 5 job, they could just hurry up and jump into uh, a Hollywood opportunity. I can easily say that. I can easily. I'm just enjoying myself right now. I'm just enjoying the peace right now. What I've always wanted in life. I'm just enjoying the peace, true joy, true happiness. I didn't have that in Hollywood. I didn't have that on the way up. I didn't have that. I'm not about to give this up. If God wants me to go back to Hollywood with Him, then I'll go. He already said that I could have my own reality show. And so stay tuned. But I will not do it without Him. I don't have to be here. I don't have to work a 9 to 5 if I don't want to. I don't have to. I can easily contact one of these producers. I can easily contact them. I still have access to them. So, what have I been doing lately? I've been consistent in my faith walk with Christ. I have not been consistent in my natural walk of success and fame because that's not where I want to be consistent at. You can read it. Now the story's out of who I am and where I've been. This is as recent as 2021. Oprah Winfrey. But this is not what I want to live. I love my peace. The peace he's given me, the joy he's given me. I love it. I love it. Someone from my past life, one of my childhood and high school and neighborhood girlfriends say, "Girl, you sound so happy." I am. I am. When I hear that, I know I've made the right decision. How can you go wrong with God? How could that not be right? The right decision. With God, you can never go wrong. You can never go wrong with God. She said, "You sound so happy." I am. I don't have to call her, "Girl, let's go beat somebody up. Girl, somebody was messing with me." I ain't got to do all that. God takes care of me. I'm under His care. He takes care of me. I went from self care to God's care. Self care is when you're taking care of trying to take care of your own self. That's what I was doing in the world, trying to take care of my own self, trying to take my own self out on dates. I wasn't even dating. Didn't even know how to date. Thought I was dating. Wasn't even dating. You know, treating my own self to bubble baths in the world, treating my own self to different things. Now God treats me to everything. My new husband, yeah, Christ, my husband, he takes me on vacations that natural couples can't even go on or can't afford to go on. My husband takes me across the world now, and they're affordable. How about that? I get my spiritual husband Christ takes me on free vacations, and and I'm not naturally married. My spiritual husband takes me to places that some people dream about going. And you think I'm about to give up Christ? Look at this in the background. My spiritual husband takes me to all these places in different countries and free cruises. Nice luxury cruises too. Luxury cruises. and I'm safe and he keeps me protected. Who wouldn't want to serve a God like this? You think I'm about to give up Hollywood? Some people may be like, girl, you crazy. What that thing say? Approve. Let me read it again. Thank you for expressing your interest in our new television opportunity by sending in a bio for the new mother daughter show for the Oprah Winfrey Network. A casting director reviewed your bio and congrats, you have been selected to move on to the next round. Really? 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 So think about that. You just read it for yourself finally, black and white. Where I've been, the journey I've been on, and I didn't fail. I went from fame to faith. There are a lot of celebrities that give, and there was more I want to show you guys. There are a lot of celebrities that gives up Hollywood and fame to serve Christ and serve God because it ain't what all people think it is. I had another video clip to show, but I'll save that for another day. We're gonna have to do a part two. So you guys stay tuned. I've been on here for quite some time, and so, but we'll catch up. We'll catch up. So that's what I've been doing lately. I hope you guys enjoy this Fly Girl Friday TGIF. Thank God it's Friday and together gathered in faith. I hope you guys enjoyed this testimony from fame to faith. And the more to the story, the lessons someone could take out of this, take the scenic route. That's what I want to leave you guys with. Take the scenic route. Trust God a little bit more. Connect with him a little bit more. Get to know who your God really is. And the love and the care. He's willing and able. He's ready to shower up on you. Stop trying to do it yourself. I had that habit bad of trying to do everything myself, trying to create this self-made attitude. Now I'm God made. I'm allowing God to make me over. And it's beautiful. He's giving me beauty for ashes. I'm loving his life. I'm loving this faith walk from fame to faith. I'm loving it. I'm loving my relationship with Christ. It is so wonderful. I talk to him. I didn't have nobody to talk to before. When I would talk to my girlfriends, I would just vent to them. They didn't have solutions for me. If anything, that was encouraging me to meet folks in the trap. It was going down. But the God that I serve, he gives me positive and healthy solutions to protect me and to keep me safe and to keep me out of trouble. Who wouldn't want to serve a God like that? Man, when I talk to him, he literally talks to me back. When I'm in prayer, when I'm talking to him, prayer is your communication to him. Prayer is not something you just doing just to say, "Oh, prayer." No, that is your communication to God through Christ. Christ is Christ intercedes on your behalf. He's an intercessor. So you have to first develop your relationship with Christ so he can intercede on your behalf to the Father. And so that's what he's here for. For you to, man, Christ has been my true ride or die. What I was looking for in others, when I wanted others to ride and die for me, others wouldn't riding and dying for me. Christ became my ride or die. Like, I would stand at the window. It was like I could put my hand against the window and Christ would cry right there with me. It would rain outside. See, a carnal mind could never understand things of the spirit. Sometimes when it would rain outside, I'll open my window and Christ would be right there with me, just crying on my window. And I feel it in the spirit. It would be his tears when I'm crying, when I'm hurt. He be crying right there with me, and it just be me and him. And if you just be quiet enough, you just be still enough, he will talk back to you. He will give you answers. He will give you instructions. He will lead you. He will guide you. You just have to let go of control. Stop trying to control the situation, your situation, whatever situation that you're in. Allow him to do it. Let go and let God. That is real. That is real. It's like how when I went to the sanctuary altar and I didn't want to let go. I was scared I was gonna fall. That's the best thing you can do is fall into Christ's arms and allow him to hold your hand all the way through. That's what I've done. So I hope this blessed someone and becoming curious and about even the more of wanting to have this relationship with Christ. You know, you may just be a believer, but God wants to take you higher in your relationship with Christ. There are higher heights and deeper depths. Your relationship becomes like a real marriage, a real relationship, not just talking to him, when you're in trouble, or just talking to him every blue moon and you don't hear back from him, and you wonder, who is this Christ fellow everybody keep talking about? I don't hear him. You got to be still long enough. You got to get rid of all these distractions and chasing the lust of the world, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life. You got to get away from those three distractions. And once you move those three distractions out the way, then you can hear him so clear and so plain. You can hear his voice. And pray that you can distinguish his voice from another voice, from natural friends and or natural people, and from Satan's voice, and to clear out the noise in your head. It's so beautiful, guys. It's so beautiful. The fact that I gave that up for this, I wouldn't have it no other way. I sleep so peaceful at night. I was knocked out yesterday. I was supposed to go to a travel dinner yesterday, and I was just so knocked out. I slept so well yesterday, and I've been to those annual dinners. I've done that before. I didn't miss out on anything, but I hope this blessed someone. Go further in your relationship. Go on a spiritual fast. Begin to talk with him. Pray. Spend all day. That's what I sit up here and do. I'll get off social media and I'll just empty my place. If you got kids or grandbabies in the house, just empty your place. Just set out a time a day just with you and him. And we'll talk about that on our next. It'll be Super Fly Girl Saturday. I'll move over into that experience, that testimony there. So stay tuned. Enjoy this TGIF Friday, Together Gather in Faith. Thank God it's Friday, and you guys have you a wonderful, wonderful day. Hope you enjoyed this yummy, delicious cappuccino coffee in the chat today. I know I did, and so talk to you guys later. Bye bye.